I'm doing up shit. Fuck all that young shit. I'm cool with up shit. Type shit. Activity. I'm doing up shit. Fuck all that young shit. I'm cool with up shit. Type shit. Activity. Posted up on the island with a bitch. They call me up, cause I ain't on that dumb shit.
The show's kind of last minute per se. What's up, people? What's up? What's good with you? Welcome back to Unc B Streaming Nieces and Nephews with your favorite motherfucking Unc. Got a short show planned for you all because I got to go pick up my daughter on Mondays. I've been thinking about leaving something planned sometimes and going to pick her up and then coming back and just getting to the show. That might be done. That might be a thing. But we got a good, fun show planned for you all. Interesting concept. We're going to talk about the social system, the social credit system, per se, in China. And should we use it in America? You know, I'm a proud American, in the military. But there are certain things in other countries that they do that super liberal Americans see as fucked up. But as someone that's conservative, I don't see certain aspects of the level of control that some of these countries have. I do believe in having certain freedoms, certain liberties, but I'm also aware enough to understand that sometimes too much freedom can be a problem. Too much freedom can be a problem when a great amount of people lack discipline, emotional intelligence, morality, and things like that. Too much freedom can become a problem. So I'm not all like, yeah, let's turn America into a communist country or whatever. But at the same time, I kind of like how some of these other countries move, like in China with the social credit system. You know, when you think about it, so the social credit system, right? What is that? What is that? We're going to look into the specific definitions in a minute, but pretty much it's a credit score, right? But it's about how you behave, how you conduct yourself in society, how you contribute to society, how you living, how you moving, what kind of person you are. Black Mirror, the little weird show Black Mirror, right, did an episode that was very similar to this concept where the people had the stars over their head. And I think you can get up to 5 stars, right? And other people rank you, give you a star based on how they interacting with you. Kind of like how you give Yelp reviews and you give like the Uber the star after you leave. So people were very concerned about how their behavior in public per se and how people perceive them. Now, that part is kind of fucked because it shouldn't matter that much how people perceive you, because then you will become, that could be kind of stressful because you will become a people pleaser. And so, but at the same time, you should care to a degree of how you're perceived in society. Because without that, we get the chaos that we have now of people not giving no fucks how they perceive, and they just out here doing what the fuck, saying what they want, living how they want. And at the same time, those same people that don't care how they perceive and living like they want end up some kind of way becoming a burden on the system to the people that they claim they don't care what they think. Yet you want to you living off us per se. What's up, DJ Witch Doctor? What's up, brother? So the Chinese credit score thing, pretty much, it's a social credit score. And they penalize you with that by pretty much, in many ways. They will slow down your internet. They'll make it so you can't use the public transportation systems. They make it to where you can't travel outside the country and all kinds of shit based on your social credit score. I think we need to formulate something similar to that in America. I think people need to have some consequences for some of their behaviors outside of just the illegal shit. It's a lot of things people do that's wrong, irresponsible, and detriment to society that's technically within the law. Straight up. There's also things that are done outside the law that people get a little tap on the wrist, even if they get a little bid and they integrate back in society, but they still that same fucked up person, and they just get out here living their best life and can fall right back and do the shit again, i.e. like scamming. In the credit score system, the social credit score system, you get caught doing those PPP loan shit, you fucking fuck with the PP loan scams. In this country, too much shit can get swept under the rug, and it's snapbackable per se. So should we listen to it or try to find a video? But we're gonna get into this Chinese social score, social credit, and should we use it? Like I said, I think we don't need to adopt the exact same system, but I think citizens do need to be, like I said before, the average citizen is a moron, right? So because of that, I think in this country, motherfuckers need to be controlled a little more. Certain shit need to be pulled in. We've given people too many freedoms and they don't know how to act. It's just like when you're a kid. You can't walk in there and tell your 12-year-old, you can eat what you want, go to sleep when you want, go to school when you want, wear what you want, and all that shit. If you do, 9 times out of 10, shit finna get real chaotic.
Oh my God!
Right? It's the same thing in America. Yes, a lot of these people are adults, but it doesn't matter. Because the average citizen is a moron. The vast majority of people have no emotional control. Sometimes if you leave people to their own fate, they will be all fucked up, and you have to protect them from themselves. Even if you don't care about them, you have to protect them from themselves so they don't be a burden on you and the rest of society. Prime example, telling people that putting on your seatbelt is illegal. That's protecting people from themselves. I told you, motherfuckers know the signs. You riding in the car, you ain't got no seatbelt, you hit some, that car gone to a cold stop, you was going 60 miles an hour, your body's gonna fly out that window at 60 miles an hour. Because even though the motion start from the red, the motion of your body not gonna stop. It's fucking sign. Boop, shoo, gone. So you know this. So it's like, it's your life. If you want to risk your life, then don't wear a seatbelt, motherfucker. However, the system gotta protect you from yourself and make it illegal, and you can get a fine and lose money to wear a seatbelt. It's some people that only wear a seatbelt because they don't want to lose money.
Oh my God!
They care about the money more than their own goddamn life.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
That's what's going on in this country, right? So it's one of the instances where the government have to intercede to protect people from their goddamn self. We need to get like that on more things in this country. You know, in other countries like China, they dictate what their citizens watch, what they consume. You know, like we can consume as much brain rot. I can sit on YouTube for 18 hours if I want. And it's probably some people that do that. Because I be out here on YouTube, coming in and out of YouTube, right? I'll talk to my family, hang out with my wife, hang out with the kids, couple hours, whatever, come back, watch YouTube, some people in the chats. I'll go grab something to eat, chop it up with the old lady, get on, but come back, check out what's going on YouTube, same people in the chats, look like they ain't left. I would go to the gym, stay for 2 hours. While I'm at the gym, might be looking at YouTube, same people in the chat. Then I come back from the gym, same people in the chat. I got insomnia, so I'll be up late. So I might watch some movies, might do some editing, have YouTube in the background, same people in the chat. Well, in China and places like that, they monitor, especially with children, how much fucking screen time they have on the internet, definitely how much time they play video games. They dictate and control, like China own TikTok, but they people don't watch the same kind of fuckery that we watch. Because they understand that it's not helpful in its brain rot. We over here, just like I said, sometimes too much freedom, too much doing what you want can be harmful. Because honestly, a lot of people are not equipped to have the level of control and freedom in their own lives in this country. And that's why we have the chaos we have today. We have our crimes, we have our laws. We have the vast majority of our laws are to protect other people from harm from our citizens. But we need more laws that protect these people from themselves. And the reason why is that because when they can't get right, they usually become a problem for us people that are getting right. So instead of you making a bunch of bad decisions and having all your bad project babies around my kids, or you making a bunch of bad decisions and living off the system for decades, or you making a bunch of bad decisions and now you trying to kick down my door, breaking my house or car to rob me, and you gonna shoot me or I got to take you out. How about we put some laws into place that greatly penalize these people and might lower the possibility of these people making such bad decisions? Because every bad decision that affects society doesn't have to be totally criminal. So we let them slide. So let's check out the premise behind the Chinese social credit score. And can it be something, or should it be something that's transferable to America per se? I personally think so. But we're gonna let y'all hear what it's about. And we might collect, I got a couple of videos I might pull up. And we're just gonna talk about it, for the brief time I got here. By the way, like, subscribe, comment, and please share. Like, subscribe, comment, and please share. I didn't even say that at first. I hopped right into the video. Like, subscribe, comment, and please share. It's 100% free. Doesn't cost you a penny, a nickel, or a dime. But if you want to support the channel, $ Uncle B Streaming, it's down there. $ Uncle B Streaming. Taking anything from $1 on up, it would be greatly appreciated and go directly into funding the channel. Also, shout out to the replay gang, the people that come watch the videos throughout the week on their own free time. It's greatly appreciated. Salute to y'all. Salute to the few people that watch old Unc Struggle stream right now. Y'all greatly appreciate it too. And last but not least, don't forget to self-improve today. Self-improve. Do some form of self-improvement today, be it physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. Learn something, read something, work out, whatever. Be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday, and continue to do that every day. This is a process. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So every day you should become a better version of yourself than you were the other day in some kind of ways, be it big steps or small steps. Don't measure yourself with no one else. Do what you can do within your time, your abilities, and your energy. With that said, back to the show. So I kind of explained to y'all what I think the Chinese credit score system is. Let's get a little more thorough into it before we continue on and push on with the show. Let me pause this music for a second, get this going.
China's social credit system is a government initiative designed to monitor, assess, and influence the trustworthiness of individuals, businesses, and organizations. It isn't a single unified system across the whole country, but rather a collection of local programs and databases that have been piloted in various regions since the early 2010s. Here are the key points. Purpose. The official goal is to promote trustworthiness in society, rewarding those who comply with laws and regulations, and discouraging dishonest or harmful behavior. It draws on the idea that those who keep trust are honored, and those who break trust are punished. How it works. Authorities collect data from many sources: court records, financial credit histories, tax payments, business registrations, and sometimes even everyday behaviors. Individuals and companies may receive a credit score or trustworthiness profile. High scores can lead to rewards like easier access to loans, faster approvals for permits, or better job prospects. Low scores, from, for example, fraud, unpaid debts, or spreading false information, can result in restrictions such as being barred from buying plane or high-speed train tickets, difficulty securing loans or government contracts, public naming and shaming on blacklists. Criticism and concerns. Transparency. Rules and criteria for scoring are often unclear. Privacy. The system involves vast data collection and raises concerns about surveillance. Freedom. Critics argue it can be used to suppress dissent, as behaviors deemed untrustworthy may be politically defined. Uneven application. Some regions and sectors implement it more strictly than others, making it inconsistent nationwide. Reality versus Western perception. In Western media, it's sometimes portrayed as a single Orwellian all-seeing eye. In reality, China's social credit system is fragmented, more bureaucratic than high-tech, and still evolving. By 2020s, many pilot programs were merged into broader government databases, but it still isn't one universal score, like a credit score in the US. Would you like me to break down how it applies differently to individuals versus businesses, since China runs parallel systems for both?
Not right now, but I'm not gonna lie, that'll be something interesting to visit, because I think that'll pull it all together. So we might check that out later, but not right now. Right now, though, that was a lot of information, right? But it was clear and concise. So let's get to it, breaking it down and more, just breaking it down a little more for us common folks, for us C students. I wasn't a C student, but a lot of people were. So shout out to my C students, by the way. What's the old saying? C's get degrees. So pretty much, in my opinion, the Chinese social credit thing is a way to give people incentive and punishment for being or not being a good person. It's to give you incentive for being a good person, for not being a menace to society, for not being out there causing problems and chaos and just being a motherfucking dickhead. You get incentive for it. And I think that's awesome. Of course, if you get incentive for not being a menace to society, a burden on society, just a bad person, just a dickhead, a rabble-rouser, and a troublemaker. So if you get incentive for it, of course, you have to get punishment. And that's when the shit come into play. Because in America, if you got incentives for being this solid person, people will be all for it. But that's if you just got the incentives only. We love getting the hookup. We love stuff. But we don't love being held accountable for our behaviors. So the Chinese social credit score is to promote trustworthiness in society, rewarding those who comply with laws and regulations, and discouraging honest and harmful behavior. We need something like that here. We really, really do. Like they say, they collect data from your court records, see what you're out there doing, how you're moving. See, in this country, You go do your dirt, you do your stuff, and if it's illegal, you go to jail, you do your bid, you come out, and you just out here amongst us, unidentifiable, still the same person, reaping all necessary benefits in society, etc., etc. And the social credit system draws on the idea that those who keep trust are honored, trustworthy people. That I see nothing wrong with that. If you see something wrong with trustworthy people being honored, that means you're probably not a trustworthy person.
Oh my God!
And those who break trust are punished. See, in this country, we punish those who break laws, but we don't punish those who violate the societal agreements we have. Not the laws, but the societal agreements. Pretty much in China, right? If you're on a busy subway, and it's a pregnant women and old women on there, and you come up there as a man, and you just sit down and watch the pregnant and old people stand up and don't give them your seat, this camera's recording that. And if that is peeped by somebody, that can lower your social credit score. You ain't a good person. You're not, you're on some bullshit, right? I also read that, cheating, adultery, having kids outside of wedlock, having kids with, other dudes' babies and shit while you pregnant, having babies on women, all that kind of stuff can lower your social credit score because you doing this stuff to the people close in your lives. Society needs to know that you're not a trustworthy individual. Just a second. My bad, my cat scratching on the back of my chair. So society know you're not a trustworthy individual because you out here like you can't even keep trust with the people that you claim like to care about. People might ask, why does the government care if I'm a snake? Because a government that cares if an individual is a snake is a government that cares about its individual citizens. We in this country has taken this freedom to do this and that a little too far. Now you got the freedom to be an asshole, a jerk, a deviant. And that's all good, except for when you do these things, they often infringe on the rights or lifestyle or space of other people. So when your freedom to do as you please affects other people, at that point, maybe that shit need to get clipped a little bit. And that's what something like the social credit score system kind of forces people to consider this allegedly individual behavior, to consider how it looks in society, how it may affect society, and throwing some consequences out there to kind of give you the idea of maybe I shouldn't do this. So yes, a social credit score or trustworthiness profile. Um, it's like I said, you out here discouraged, you're being dishonest, you're doing harmful behavior, it's out here showing your ass. So let's find out exactly what kind of behaviors would lower your social credit score in Japan. In China, sorry. I have Japan on my brain because I was just literally thinking about getting Rosetta Stone and attempting to learn Japan because I'm planning a big trip to there in a couple of years for probably my 50th birthday. That would be there for like about 2 weeks. So it'd be cool to, the more I can know of the language, I know the better my experience is going to be. That's what I learned in my travels internationally, that when you know the more you know the language, the better the people are going to respond to you, the easier they're going to connect to you. And I hate to say it, they're going to just be more comfortable with you and inherently treat you better. So plus, you know, I would love to watch my anime without the words on the bottom. That'd be so fucking dope. Because one thing I'm not doing is watching it dubbed. Speaking of dub animes, my daughter made me, well, she just kept begging, so take her to see Demon Slayer. And in the theater, they had the dub version or the sub version. People that don't watch anime, the dub version is when they take American voice actors, voice over the Japanese show. The sub version is you keep the Japanese dialogue, Japanese dialogue, but the words are at the bottom so you can read it. She will watch sub anime with the words on the bottom if she don't have a choice. But if there's an option for a dub one, she'll watch the dub. Sometimes the dub voice acting be good, but often than not, the dub voice acting be bad, especially in the live action stuff. I can deal with voice acting dub and animes before the Korean and Japanese live action movies. So anyway, so the Chinese credit system, right? I typed in what kind of behavior would lower your social credit score in China. And I'm just trying to make sure that it's not being too extreme or like damn, see if it's stuff that would be reasonably transferred to some degree over here. Because so far, I'm really thinking we need to implement this social credit score system in this country. Because people just don't know how to act. But that's just my opinion. We'll let y'all make y'all own. But let's see what kind of behavior would lower your social credit score in China. And once we see that, we can go further into seeing like, is this something that can be, should be, or need to be implemented in the United States or motherfucking America? Because we getting out of control over here. No standards, no nothing. Just a bunch of deviant shit. And at what point is it right or wrong for what point is it right or wrong for the government to step in and tell us how to live our everyday lives? Or they're not even telling these people in China how to live their everyday lives. You can live your life how you want. All they saying is that there will be consequences for certain behavior. So a lot of people say, well, if you're giving me consequences, that means you're telling me how to live. But in reality, no, you don't. You can do what you want. See, people don't understand that when a lot of people say things, I'm not telling you what you can and can't do. What I'm telling you is that there might be consequences for what you do. Like people say the freedom of speech. I got the freedom of speech. Yes, you do. But the freedom of speech doesn't mean that there won't be consequences for what you say. I can run up in Victoria's Secret and scream loud as I want. All y'all B words in here buying pennies need to take those pennies off and put that pussy on my face. I can go in there and scream that. Got the freedom of speech to do that. But I'm pretty sure if they call the police, I'll at least be fucking at the minimum disturbing the police if I'm not harassing motherfuckers. But I got the freedom to say it. Well, let's get into this. So the Chinese social credit system. In the China, what kind of behavior would lower your social credit score in China? And we're gonna look into that and see if any of this could be sustainable in the United States of America, and would our citizens even remotely go for it? If I was in charge, I wouldn't even care. If shit makes sense, I'll just put it into place. Because again, at this point, trusting these people to be decent, it's a shame you got to put consequences just for people to be decent people. But it's necessary now. And I like how China does this. I just like it. We'll check it out.
Good question. In China's social credit framework, behavior that is seen as dishonest, irresponsible, or harmful to public trust can lower a person's or company's standing. The exact rules vary by region and sector, but the main categories include: Number 1, financial and economic misconduct, defaulting on debts, not repaying loans or credit cards, tax evasion or late tax payments, engaging in fraudulent activities, scams, pyramid schemes, fake products, bounce checks, or failing to honor financial contracts. Legal and regulatory violations, breaking laws, criminal offenses or civil violations, disobeying court judgments, for example, refusing to pay court-ordered compensation, running businesses without licenses or falsifying records, intellectual property violations, e.g., selling counterfeit goods. 3. Public order and safety, traffic violations like drunk driving, reckless driving, or frequent infractions, causing public disturbances or violent behavior. Poor food or product safety practices for businesses. Or 4. Dishonesty and false information, spreading false rumors online or offline, plagiarizing or falsifying academic records or research, providing false documents to government authorities. 5. Social responsibilities, abandoning family responsibilities, such as failing to pay child or elder support when legally obligated, uncivil behavior in public, like not paying transit fares, or disorderly conduct. This has been piloted in some cities. Number 6. Political and administrative, obstructing government processes or refusing to cooperate with inspections, corruption or bribery for officials and businesses, blacklisting by professional associations for misconduct. Examples of penalties: restricted access to airplane or high-speed train tickets, being ineligible for luxury hotels, private schools, or government jobs, limited ability to get loans or credit cards, public naming and shaming on blacklists. Important note, not every infraction.
I like it, yo. I fucking love it. I am here for it. One of those really caught my attention. And you see that all the time in these alleged YouTube streets. And it's number 4. What was it? Spreading false rumors online or offline. And a lot of these things on this list already has legal consequences in this country. But right now we live in a world where in America, legal consequences isn't enough to stop people from doing fuck shit and being terrible people. Because, which is a good thing, but a lot of good things can lead to bad things. And let me tell y'all what I mean by this. It's awesome that in this country, you can do a crime at 21, do 5-10 years in jail, get out, be a different person, start living right, living straight, and become a huge success business owner, if not a thousandaire, sometimes a millionaire. It is awesome that you can do that. At the same time, it can become problematic that people know that it's very shape backable in this country. We're gonna just make up a word. Shape. This country is a place where it's very shape backable. It's you can shake back from being a deviant, a menace to society for 10 years of your life. So because people know that, they're a little more prone to go for the fucked up shit. Sorry, I got a text. Sorry about that. So, because everybody know that it's so shape backable here, then they have the legal shit ain't a big problem. You know, I can go to jail, I can do this, I can shake back, I can become successful, I can get a business, I can become a truck driver, I can do all this kind of shit and make it work. So they need something else like this social credit system, because jail isn't enough deterrent from certain behaviors. Think about it. Why do you think we see all these crash outs, all this weird stuff? You would think jail was a paradise, the way people have no hesitation on committing certain crimes. We see it all the time on the internet, where people be doing stuff and it's like there's no possibility this could end well. People be doing crimes where there's broad day. It's like, no doubt you're going to be caught. Cameras are everywhere. It's broad daylight. It's witnesses. It's like they don't care. People be scheming and scamming and putting their names on stuff and falsifying documents and playing with the motherfucking IRS. knowing damn well that the IRS be catching mafia niggas. They gonna catch you, Tyrone Jenkins. They gonna catch you, Keisha Washington. They gonna catch you, Bradley Smith or Cooper Rush or whatever little white name you want to throw out. They gonna catch all y'all. They gonna catch you, motherfucking Alberto Perez. They gonna catch you, Lin Ling. They gonna catch y'all ass, whoever you are. One thing in America, motherfuckers like they little fringe benefits. They like they fringe benefits sometimes more than they prefer their freedom. And that's where I think something like a social credit score come into place. See if we can get into more detail about what are the punishments for a low social credit score in China. See if this is enough. See if their punishments are enough to make the average American a little hesitant about the choices and decisions they make and how they move in society. We get a little more detail on that. Okay, let's see. Let's see if these punishments on the level that China's doing is enough for our citizens to think twice about just being decent, upstanding people.
Punishments for a low social credit rating in China vary depending on whether you are an individual or a business, but they all serve one purpose: to pressure people and organizations into being more trustworthy. Instead of just losing points like a game, most penalties come in the form of blacklists and restrictions. Here's a breakdown. 1. Travel restrictions. Bans on flights and high-speed trains. Millions of people have been blocked from purchasing airline tickets and some from buying fast train tickets. Lower travel class. In some cases, people may only be allowed to buy cheaper tickets, not first class or luxury options. 2. Financial and business limits. Harder to get loans or mortgages. Banks can deny credit to those with poor social credit. Blocked from luxury consumption. Certain blacklisted individuals cannot buy real estate, high-end insurance, or luxury goods. Businesses. Companies with bad credit records may be restricted from government contracts, investments, or operating in certain industries. 3. Employment consequences. Barred from high-paying jobs, especially government or state-owned enterprise positions. Professional bans. For example, lawyers, teachers, or civil servants with misconduct may be blacklisted and lose their licenses. 4. Public exposure. Name and shame blacklists. Courts and local governments publish names, photos, and ID numbers of discredited citizens. Public announcements, sometimes played before movies, on billboards, or on government websites. Number 5. Social restrictions. Children's schooling. In some regions, children of blacklisted parents have been denied enrollment in private schools. Slower internet. Rumors suggest throttled internet access, but this is not officially confirmed nationwide. Luxury activities. Restrictions on club memberships, expensive hotels, or vacation packages. 6. Everyday inconveniences. Difficulty renting property or cars. Restrictions on travel abroad if you owe debts. Blocked access to fast-track services like airport VIP lounges. Important nuance. China's system is not one single score like a credit score in the US. Instead, it's a network of blacklists and red lists. Penalties come from being flagged as dishonest or untrustworthy, usually for unpaid debts, fraud, or legal violations.
So yeah, like I said, in this country, things are very shape backable, and they act like jail is just summer camp, and people know they can do this and do that and come back, and yeah, it'd be a little harder to get a job. But this country is like I said, is very shape backable. So people out here doing stuff, doing things, and the legal consequences they don't care about or can handle, and the societal consequences are kind of null and void due to how you can shape back here. So they really don't care. You know, they you know, jokingly, lovingly refer to jail as a bid. You know, just do a little bid. So it's like that kind of shit. So I see one on here that'll definitely grind a lot of people gears. The throttle internet access. By that they mean they pretty much slow your internet down as a punishment for having a low social credit score. I think that'll really irk a lot of motherfuckers here. Of course, they say in China, millions of people have been blocked from purchasing airline tickets, and some from buying fast train tickets. So all the little travel lovers, they're gonna have to get on the Greyhound and travel state to state. Show not going international. Bank can deny credit for people with poor social credit. You might have good credit, but if you're a terrible person, you're not getting this loan. If you're out here just doing stuff. Damn, you can't buy real estate, high-end insurance. You can't buy luxury goods. So it's like, I don't know, man. Again, the kind of behaviors that lower your credit score: defaulting on debts, tax evasion, engaging in fraudulent activities, scams, pyramid scams, fake products, bounce checks, breaking laws, obviously, disobeying court judgments, running business without license. See that a lot here. Intellectual property violations, traffic violations, causing public disturbance, violent behavior. We see that out here without people giving no kind of fucks. Spreading false rumors online. See that every day. Plagiarizing or falsifying academic records. Come on, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Providing false documents to government authorities. All my PPP loan players. Abandoning family responsibilities. All the deadbeat dads and deadbeat mamas out there. Uncivil behavior in public. See it every time I step outside. And again, people go do their little time and counting their little stuff, and they come out and they just can out here amongst us still being those terrible people and just living a life. And because of that, they'll do it again. That's really what it is. Just going to jail, then getting out and being able to shake back doesn't stop motherfuckers from still doing it again.
Emotional damage.
But add your normal criminal punishment with something like a social credit score system, taking back the little cool shit that makes your life a little more comfortable. Cause let me tell you something. Motherfuckers like their comforts. Motherfuckers love their little comforts, man. Speaking of comforts, like, subscribe, comment, and please share. Like, subscribe, comment, and please share. It doesn't cost you a penny, a nickel, or a dime. It is 100% free and helps the channel the most. But if you want to support the channel, anything from $1 on up will be greatly appreciated. And it's Cash App's down there, $UNC streaming. You'll see it go flow by down there. Accepting anything from $1 on up, and we'll go directly to funding the channel and be greatly, greatly appreciated. Not even fucking joking. We're going to see if I can find a YouTube video. But yeah, Black Mirror definitely did a show about it that I thought was quite interesting. We're going to do this. We're going to pull this up, and because I got to get out of here in a bit. Sorry for the short show, but I got to pick up my daughter from school on Monday. It's my duty as a daddy. So, but we're going to check out this little video. It's short anyway. We're just going to let it cook. Maybe it can give us some information and details that wasn't expressed and about this concept.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now, the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good. Around the 500 mark is not. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it, and anyway, we don't have a choice.
But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb. Their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media. Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. Xiao Wenwang is a model citizen. She lives in Nanjing, a testing ground for social ranking. Married with a child, she has a job in a retirement home, no debts, and she wouldn't dream of jaywalking.
As a good citizen, I respect the rules of the road. If I didn't, I'd lose points on my social credit.
In theory, everything can be taken into account in the social score, even the most innocuous errands like supermarket shopping. When Xiaowen Wang makes an electronic payment, her purchases tell the state a lot about her. Buying cigarettes would count against her. On the other hand, nappies show she's an attentive mother. Beer could indicate alcoholism. She'd be better off buying water. In this pilot city of 8 million people, there are only 18,000 model citizens. For Xiaowen Wang, there are perks to be had, such as paying half price for the bus.
I get discounts for all public services, even at museums. And the library is free for me, thanks to my score.
A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be.
Damn! Putting your ass on a jumbotron lets you a fucking fuck up. I love it! Make shaming great again. Make shaming great again.
Condemned.
Those people aren't honest, so they have to pay the price.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to zero. On it are companies, but also 23 million people to date. Among them is this journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. But he only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
Liu Hu is among a tiny minority of people who have dared to criticize the system, which some are calling a digital dictatorship.
I worry, because I think many people like me will be deprived of individual freedoms, and all of it.
What you do though, and is it, can you raise your social credit score? I did hear them say there's something about you get a higher credit score when you donate blood and stuff. Maybe if this guy, your credit score low, start like donating blood, volunteering for charity work, helping the community, things of that nature, donating to charity. If you do those things, maybe your social credit score will go up. Possibly. If it can go down by doing things, logically, there has to be things you can do over a period of time that'll raise it. But of course, it's more easier to complain and fight against the system than to simply self-improve and work within that system. People gonna be people. Seems like regardless of what country they're in.
Us will live with restrictions of one kind or another.
After our meeting, Liu Hu learned that his name had been removed from the blacklist, but he still has a long way to go if he doesn't want to languish at the bottom of the social credit hierarchy.
So there you go. You're not on a blacklist anymore. Therefore, since you're not blacklisted, now you just have to start making good choices, start making good decisions, and contribute to society instead of just being a taker and a manipulator and a user and just a fuck up. Then you'll be good to go. So like I said, this was going to be a short show, but before I get out of here, I just want to wrap things up by saying that I firmly believe that something like the social credit system should be implemented in this country. Very similar to what China did, if not, in my opinion, a little more penalties and a little more stricter. I think it would really help society in general. The people that are already doing the right things gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay anyway. But at the same time, why not hook them up? Like, if you're gonna punish people for doing the wrong things, ain't no wrong with hooking people up for doing the right things. Of course, in most cases, doing the right things, you get your pay just in life in general. But why not have a system in place? Anyway, with that said, this being your boy Unc B streaming, nieces and nephews. Unc B streaming, Unc been streaming. Now Unc gotta go do some Unc shit and pick up his 10-year-old daughter from school. So with that said, thanks for checking in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. It doesn't cost you a penny, nickel, or a dime. You want to support the channel, to catch us right there. $ Unc B streaming. I hope you learned something, thought differently. Any questions, concerns, or complaints, please leave a comment and they will reply to in a timely manner. This is a conversation that can definitely get dove into more deeply. I wish I had more time. But again, to sum it up, I think this would be something that people will fight tooth and nail. But the only people really fighting tooth and nail is the deviants that can't get right anyway. So honestly, if someone really has a major problem with this social credit system, it's very telling. Because if you ain't out here just being a fuck up and a terrible person and a manipulator and user of people in the systems, nothing about this would even bother you. This system getting put into place wouldn't do much at all to change my everyday life. Anyway, do better, be better, become better, build a better you. And I'm out.
Type shit. DJ K. I'm going on.